The Hidden Average Part 1. The Illusion of the 80-Year Life. We often walk through life with a silent assumption, a subconscious contract that promises us 80 years of existence. We see life expectancy statistics on the news and treat them as a guaranteed inheritance. But as we look back at the data from 2025, a much more sobering reality emerges. When we strip away the comfort of the elderly category, those who have already reached the finish line of a full life, and remove the tragic statistics of childhood, we find a group that rarely gets talked about: the working adult. If you were an adult between the ages of 18 and 64 who passed away last year, you weren't part of a distant 80-year average. Globally, the actual average age of death for this group was just 51.8 years. This is the silent middle, a demographic of people who were in the very thick of life, raising families, building careers, and planning for a retirement that, for them, would never arrive. Part 2. The Statistics of the Prime. Years. Let's look at the hard numbers, because they tell a story that words often soften. In 2025, death didn't just wait for the body to wear out. It struck in the prime of life. For young adults aged 21 to 22, the average age of death was exactly that, 21 and a half. These weren't deaths of old age, but deaths of event, car accidents, sudden trauma, and the violence of a broken world. As we move into the 44-year-old bracket, the data shows a haunting pivot point. At 44, the probability of death doubles compared to your 20s. This is the age where internal failure begins to compete with external accidents. It's the age where the heart, the lungs, and the cells begin to betray the plans we made for the future. By the time we reach the 50 to 64 age group, we see the largest volume of adult deaths. These people weren't old by modern standards, yet they represent 50% of all non-elderly adult deaths. This data suggests that the average adult who dies prematurely is not an outlier, but someone standing right in the middle of their life's work. Part 3. A Global and Spiritual Warning. The geography of these numbers is just as telling as the ages themselves. In 2025, an adult in North America who died before 65 had an average age of 53, often claimed by deaths of despair or the sudden collapse of health. In sub-Saharan Africa, that average dropped to a staggering 44 years. Regardless of where you live, the message written in the data is the same. Time is a currency we cannot print more of. From a Christian perspective, these statistics are more than just data points. They are a divine echo of the book of James, which reminds us that our life is but a vapor that appears for a little time and then vanishes. We live in a culture of tomorrow, but the 2025 mortality report is a warning against the sin of presumption. The 22-year-old, the 44-year-old, and the 60-year-old all likely believed they had more time. They were in the average range of those whose lives were cut short, proving that the day of our departure is rarely the one we have marked on our calendars. Part 4. The Call to Wisdom. So what do we do with this information? We don't look at these numbers to live in fear, but to live in wisdom. Psalm 90-12 petitions, "So teach us to number our days, that we may apply our hearts unto wisdom." To number our days is to realize that the average age of 51.8 for an adult death is not just a statistic. It is a call to urgency. It is a call to mend broken relationships today, to seek the Creator today, and to stop living as if we are the masters of our own timeline. In 2025, millions of adults were taken in the middle of their sentences, leaving behind unfinished stories. As you look at your own life, remember that the 80-year promise is a myth. The reality is that we are all walking on a bridge of unknown length. Let the sobering data of the past year drive you to live a life that is ready for eternity at any moment. Because the average age of death tells us one thing above all else: today is the only day we truly own.